Happy Wednesday, all. Welcome to Module 4, Lesson 6, Concept and Problem Set video. For my new friends, like and subscribe my video, turn the bell notification on. There's my bad joke for our new friends of Mr. Briggs's math videos. But today we're going to be working on fractions still with division. So we're going to understand our fractions as division. So that's, if we look at this objective here, we're going to relate fractions as divisions of a set. So what does that mean? Well, relate fractions as a division, that's when we're just talking about 1/3. That is 1 divided by 3, right? So, but what's this of a set mean? Well, for your parents, for myself, what that meant was that we're dividing a fraction by a whole number, 1/3 of 12. I shouldn't say divide, 1/3 of 12. So we're finding a fraction of a whole number. So we're going to do what we've been working on, understanding fractions as divisions, but then we're going to figure it out with a set. And with that set, let me just flip to this next page. We're going to be using pictures or drawings, and we'll probably most all the time be drawing arrays. So what does that really mean? Well, let's kind of make an example of it so it makes more sense. So 1/3, whoops, not 1/2. Let me minimize my face so you're not distracted by me. 1/3 of 6. So we think about that and we know that 1/3 is 1 divided by 3, but 1/3 of 6, how are we going to work through that? All right, so it's going to ask us to draw a set, and we're going to draw dots for the set. But how many dots are we going to draw? Well, we're going to draw 6 because that's what it says. And now with the set, we're also, like I said in the video before, we're going to use that as an array. Now, arrays are just rows and columns of pictures or of items. So 1/3 of 6. So we're going to use 6 pieces, but how do we split them up? How do we divide them out? Well, our unit, our denominator is thirds. So let's quickly give us 3 categories. So here's, now I can just pass them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, honestly, you didn't need these lines to separate your columns. I just did it to help me out. I'll do another example without it. But we're looking at one group of these 3 groups to find the answer. Well, what is 1/3 of 6? Well, that's going to equal 2. So let's go on and try another example. Let's see, clear the page. And let's do 2/3 of 6. This time, I'm not going to draw those lines. I'm just going to, we need this, the whole is 6. And we know that our unit is thirds. So to make our lives easier, we're going to draw in columns of 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. Now we have to think to ourselves, what is 2/3 of that? And that's where you can draw those columns to kind of think about that. But we need 2 columns of those. Well, 2/3 of 6 is now easy to see as 4. And then let me just kind of show you, like if I just drew a hole around this and then I drew those into parts, right? So you could use a tape diagram to help draw your array as well. Let's keep moving and then do a couple more examples with a few bigger numbers, and then let's shift into that problem set. So let's do 1/4 of 12. 1/4 of 12. So let's draw an array to represent this. 1/4 of 12. So we need 12 dots. Okay, but how are we going to organize those dots? Well, let's look at the unit of our fraction. The unit is fourths. The denominator says 4. So let's just do columns of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1/4 of those. And remember, even if you can do that in your head, you need to show me the work. I need to know what your brain's thinking. 1/4 of 12. Well, if I think about these into fourths, right? And I'm going to undo that because I want you to start trying to visualize that in your head. 1/4 of those will equal 3. All right. So let's shift. Actually, let's do one the more challenging ones. Let's do 5, 6, and then we'll shift to the problem set of 24. Okay, so same steps. I have something in my eye, sorry. Same steps. What's the whole that we're working with? Well, it's 24. Okay, so we need 24 dots in our array. What's our unit in our fraction that we're working with? 6. So let's count out 24 dots in columns of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm going to put one in here, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Perfect. Now we're looking for 5, 6 of those. So I see, we know that we've already set up 6 columns. So we're looking for 5 of those columns. Well, that's 5, 6. So 5 groups of 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 5 times 4. So this should equal 20. Awesome. Let's move on to our problem set and let's see what they're asking us to do there. All right, let me zoom in. Fit to width, get my name on this. All right, so it looks like they're already drawing the pictures, and now they show some on one thing I noticed is they're doing it horizontally grouping, which is perfectly fine too. Every example I did was columns. I did my groups by columns, but we can see that we can do it either way. So it says find the value of each of the following. And I'll do the first one, and then I'm going to pause and you're going to do the second one on your own. So 1/3 of 9, well, that's 1/3 of 9, so that's going to be 3. If I did 2/3 of 9, well, that's 2 groups of these 3, so that looks like 6. And then 3/3 of 9, well, that is 9. Because really, think about that. That is saying 1 times 9, basically. Because 3/3 is 1 whole. So if you have 3/3, if you have the whole of the 9, you have all 9 pieces. So I'm going to ask you to pause me, and then I'm pausing, and then I'll go ahead and do the work with you. But remember, you're doing these horizontally in the rows. All right, welcome back. It obviously is asking us just to find the value. Did not have to highlight or shade in, but I did just to help my brain. And we can see that 1/3 of 15 is 5, 2/3 of 15 is 10. All right, let's go ahead and look down here. Let's just make sure that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 with 2 rows is 20. All right, so 1/5 of 20. Well, we see that they're in groups of, they're already grouped by 5 groups. So we're just looking at one of them. Well, one of those is going to be 4. Well, now we're looking at 4 of those groups. So 4 times 4 should give us 16, right? Does that make sense? Because I was looking at 4 of those groups this time, and each group had 4 in it, so I did 4 times 4. Now, blank groups of 5 of 20 is 20. So how many of these groups up here do you need to get to 20? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Well, you need all 5 groups. All right, so now that we've done that, I'd like you to try this. We see 1 group, 2 group, 3 group, 4 group, 5 group, 6 group, 7 group, 8 group. 8 times 3 is 24. So the model is right. Let's see how you do on this. I'm going to pause myself and you're going to go ahead and try. All right, welcome back. Now, I wonder if you noticed this. Once you find one group of 1/8 of the group, so 1/8 of the 24 is 3. Now it should be easy to find each one after, because 3 groups of the 3, you just have to kind of multiply 3 times 9, 4 times 3, 6 times 3, 7 times 3, because it's just groups of that 1 unit fraction. So I'm wondering if you noticed that pattern as well. So next page, let's see whoa, what did I do? Come back to me, thank you. All right. So we got some word problems. I think my video is getting a little long. So I would like you to shift over to your, let me just make sure the exit ticket isn't a word problem. What is the exit ticket? Well, there is a word problem on it. So let's do one of these word problems. Let's just do the top one. Find 4/7 of 14. 4/7 So of 14. Okay, so we want 14 dots, but in columns of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or rows. You could do rows. That 2 rows of, or, yeah. So I got 14 there now. And now I'm looking for 4 sevenths of those. So that's 1 7, 2 7, 3 sevenths, 4 sevenths. So 4 sevenths of 14 is equal to 2, 4, 6, 8, 8. Okay. Now, in the word problem, it's going to be talking about cookies and chocolate chips. So I hope that you don't get hungry. But at the same time, I want you to flip that question and answer that in a statement. So if this was find 4 sevenths of 14, and it was talking about cookies, we would say that there would be equal 8 cookies. So go ahead and shift to your exit ticket. Either do it by pencil, paper, and take a picture and submit, or do it a different way and submit. Let me know if you need my help today. Okay? Great job.